Hello! Jean-Claude Van Damme is that kickboxer who can do the splits between two trucks. This Belgian has been called many things, but one thing is certain: everyone knows him. Countless people admire Van Damme's movies, his technique, and his incredible physique. But not everyone knows what he had to go through to rise to such heights of fame and become an idol for millions. His life is far from as simple as it might seem at first glance, and today's video is exactly about that.
There are actors who, thanks to their impressive physiques, can convincingly play the roles of fighters and martial arts experts. Take Sylvester Stallone, for example. He rose to fame as Rocky, even though he never boxed professionally. And then there are people like Van Damme, real fighters destined to build an incredible career in action movies. Jean-Claude Camille François van Varenberg was born in 1960 in Brussels, Belgium, to Iliana and Eugene van Varenberg. In his early childhood, the muscles from Brussels, as Hollywood would later nickname him, was a frail, skinny boy with thick glasses. He was often bullied by his peers, and when he was 11, his father enrolled him in a martial arts school so he could learn to defend himself. Before that, the boy had spent 5 years in ballet training, which gave him remarkable flexibility and graceful movement. Now you see where that signature split between two trucks came from? Even after achieving worldwide fame, Jean-Claude often said that anyone who has survived ballet bar training can handle any kind of athletic workout.
Just a year later, Van Damme began training in martial arts at the National Karate Center under the guidance of Master Claude Goetz. Jean trained there for 4 years and earned a place on Belgium's national karate team. As a teenager, he won the European Professional Karate Association Middleweight Championship and even defeated the world's second-best karate fighter. In 1976, at the age of 16, Jean-Claude officially began his martial arts career. Over the next 6 years, he competed in both full-contact and semi-contact matches. In 1979, Jean-Claude traveled to the United States, settling in Tampa, Florida. In his first and only match against an American opponent, Van Damme faced Sherman Big Train Bergman, a kickboxer from Miami Beach, Florida. For the first time in his career, Jean-Claude was knocked down after taking a powerful left hook from Bergman. But he got back up, and with a precise axe kick, he knocked Bergman out just 56 seconds into the first round. In full-contact karate, Jean-Claude also knocked out Englishman Michael Hemming in just 46 seconds of the opening round. In 1980, Van Damme knocked out French fighter Georges Verlugels in the second round of a kickboxing match. This was just one of the many bouts the future actor fought in his youth. Jean-Claude left martial arts in 1982 after scoring a knockout victory over Nejad Garbi in Brussels, Belgium. His famous splits and spinning jump kicks became his signature moves. By the end of his professional fighting career, the future movie star had built an impressive record, 18-1 in kickboxing, all 18 wins by knockout, and 41-4 in semi-contact karate. Alongside kickboxing, Jean also trained in Muay Thai, Kung Fu, and Taekwondo. During his athletic career, the 18-year-old Jean married a wealthy 25-year-old Venezuelan woman, Maria Rodriguez, with whose money he opened a gym. He didn't particularly hide the fact that it was a marriage of convenience, and he cheated on her constantly. But Maria was so in love that she patiently forgave all of her husband's escapades. In 1981, Jean-Claude met British movie star Jacqueline Bisset in Paris and started a romance with her. The actress encouraged her boyfriend to try his luck in Hollywood and even promised to help him make the leap. He parted with his wife without regret, sold his gym, and even left his beloved dog with a near stranger. But when he arrived in the United States, he discovered that Jacqueline had fallen for another man and forgotten all her promises. The young Belgian, stranded in a foreign country with no help or support, had to fight his own way up to the cinematic Olympus. For several years, Jean-Claude called studios in vain, offering himself for any role he could get. Outside studio lots, he would pick out expensive cars and leave his photo with the phone number under their windshields. To make a living, he worked as a driver, a waiter, a pizza delivery man, and even fought in underground rings.
With no money and no steady job, the athlete relied on his charm. He married Cynthia Derderian, the daughter of a construction company owner for whom he worked laying parquet floors. Thanks to her family, Van Damme completed English courses, attended several acting classes, and most importantly, was finally able to secure legal residency in the United States. The turning point in Gene's life came when he worked as a bouncer at Chuck Norris's gym. Van Damme befriended the Hollywood star, became his sparring partner, and even taught him a few fighting techniques. In 1984, Norris landed him a role as a nameless soldier in the film Missing in Action, which brought Jean-Claude to the attention of directors and producers. That same year, he appeared in Monaco Forever and Breakin'. And in 1986, he was cast as the Russian fighter Ivan Krashinsky in the action movie No Retreat, No Surrender. It was in the credits of this film that the stage name Van Damme first appeared, replacing his hard-to-pronounce real surname, Van Varenberg. By the way, Gene's second marriage didn't last long either. At a party hosted by Chuck Norris, he met bodybuilding champion Gladys Portuguese, who would become his third wife and the mother of his son Christopher and Bianca. Thus passed Gene's first 5 years in America, which he remembers with bitterness. My early years in Los Angeles were nothing but suffering and failure. It felt like I had no future in America. But one day, the phone rang with an offer to audition for a film called Bloodsport. Many famous actors have a role that becomes iconic in their careers. For Van Damme, the breakthrough came with his portrayal of Frank Dux in Bloodsport, 1988. For some viewers, it's the only film they've ever seen with Jean-Claude. For others, it's not just his breakout role, but the defining role of his entire career. And in many ways, that's true. Interestingly, Van Damme practically fought tooth and nail to get the part. He literally stormed into the office of Hollywood producer Menahem Golan and spent hours aggressively promoting himself and his skills. The script, with its rather simple plot, had been collecting dust on a shelf for 2 years, and the production budget was only $1 million. Producers weren't particularly confident in the film's success and were hesitant to release it in the US right away. Bloodsport first premiered in Malaysia, then in France, and only later in the United States. The Belgians' persistence, a forgotten script, and the producers' gamble all paid off. The film became a worldwide hit, grossing a total of $30 million. For a low-budget action movie, that was nothing short of phenomenal. To put it in perspective, Rumble in the Bronx, the film that made Jackie Chan a star in America, only delivered a 5-fold return on investment. Bloodsport turned Van Damme into a rising action star and one of the most recognizable actors of the 1980s. His influence stretched beyond the film industry. After the premiere, thousands of young people were inspired to take up sports seriously, enrolling in karate and kickboxing classes, while Van Damme posters claimed a place of honor on the bedroom walls of teenagers worldwide. Over the next 3 years, Van Damme starred in several more action films. One after another, movies like Black Eagle, Cyborg, Kickboxer, Lionheart, Double Impact, Universal Soldier, Nowhere to Run, and Hard Target hit the screens, becoming cult classics of the early 1990s. The actor even became the prototype for one of the characters in the popular video game Mortal Kombat. At the same time, Van Damme began facing serious troubles on set, now not as an unknown extra or Chuck Norris's punching bag, but as a rising star. Film sets are not always safe, and sometimes incidents occur, not just unfortunate, but tragic. For example, Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, died in 1993 during the filming of The Crow. In Van Damme's case, there were no firearms involved, but there was still a serious injury. During the filming of Cyborg, there was a scene where Van Damme's character fought stuntman Jackson Pinckney. According to the script, a pirate attacks Van Damme's hero with a knife. He blocks the strike with his leg, disarms the opponent, and delivers a blow to his neck. But instead of striking the neck, Van Damme accidentally jabbed the stuntman in the eye. Even though the knife was a prop, the injury left Pinckney blind in one eye, which was already tragic enough. To make matters worse, Pinckney wasn't a full-time stuntman. Outside of films, he served in the U.S. Army under contract. The result was a ruined side career as a stunt performer and a forced discharge from the Army for medical reasons.
Jackson Pinckney decided to sue Van Damme for compensation, claiming the actor ignored safety protocols and injured him. He demanded $10,000. At first glance, that may not seem like an astronomical sum, especially for a rising star. But things only got worse from there.
Witnesses and stunt doubles sided with Pinckney, stating that Van Damme had ignored safety protocols on set. They claimed the Belgian star didn't see the need to pull his punches during filming. According to them, he pushed for maximum realism, sometimes to the point of nearly injuring his co-stars, just so the action would look authentic. The court ruled in favor of the injured stuntman, ordering Van Damme to pay not $10,000, but nearly $500,000. At the time of Cyborg's production, this was an impossible amount for Van Damme to afford. What saved him was that the legal battle dragged on until the mid-1990s. By then, he had become a bona fide star, earning massive paychecks, and he was eventually able to pay full compensation to Jackson Pinckney. By the early 90s, Van Damme had reached a whole new level. If he earned just $25,000 for Bloodsport, his fees now measured in the millions. Jean-Claude was standing shoulder to shoulder with action legends like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, Chuck Norris, and Jackie Chan. Some even claimed he had surpassed them all and become the biggest action star on the planet. And perhaps, for a moment, that was true. The actor also fell in love with Hawaiian beauty queen Darcy Lapierre. Their romance was no secret. They even posed together for erotic magazines. After 6 years of marriage with Gladys, Van Damme divorced her and married Darcy. That union brought the birth of his son, Nicholas. Yet, even though Van Damme had become an idol for millions and achieved everything he once dreamed of, his period of triumph was also one of the most difficult times in his life. Global fame and sky-high paychecks did not do the actor's career any favors. Jean-Claude slipped into a wild lifestyle, abusing alcohol and illegal substances. Over time, the quality of his films declined, and one after another, they flopped at the box office. On top of that, Van Damme began to lose his once legendary physical form, while young, athletic newcomers were already breathing down his neck, ready to take his place. Jean-Claude clashed with many directors, lost lucrative contracts, and ended up on Hollywood's blacklist as an actor with unreasonably high demands. By 1999, Van Damme realized his life was spiraling into the abyss, and things couldn't go on this way. He reconciled with his ex-wife, Gladys, and with her support, tried to return to a normal life. He went through rehab in a specialized clinic, threw himself back into training, and managed to break free from the vicious cycle. Van Damme showed his true fighter's spirit. He endured suffering and overcame his addictions. One could say he won the most important battle of his life and has kept the championship belt of sobriety ever since. Although Van Damme conquered his inner demons, he never fully managed to return to his former peak. One of the main reasons was the overall decline of the action movie genre. Still, Jean-Claude kept acting and continues to act to this day. In 2008, Van Damme essentially played himself in Mabrouk El-Meshri's semi-realistic drama, JCVD. In the film, he appears as an unemployed actor, a former action star buried in debt, stuck in lawsuits, and facing serious problems with the police, who mistakenly suspect him of organizing a robbery. Van Damme's performance impressed audiences and critics so much that Time magazine called it the best role since Heath Ledger's Joker in the superhero blockbuster The Dark Knight. Riding this new wave of success, Van Damme appeared in a string of sequels: Universal Soldier Regeneration, Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning, The Expendables 2, Kickboxer Vengeance, Kickboxer Retaliation, and many others. And in a now legendary Volvo Trucks commercial, he once again delighted fans with his signature splits. One could confidently say that his splits between two moving trucks left a stronger mark on audiences than even his role in The Expendables.
As for his personal life, the Belgian macho man was always popular with women and often used that to his advantage in achieving his goals. According to him, he never even kept count of how many romances and flings he had throughout his life. Nevertheless, Jean-Claude Van Damme is a proud father of 2 sons and a daughter. Even in his 60s, the actor has maintained excellent physical shape and continues to appear in films. And despite the fact that his life has resembled a roller coaster, for millions of fans, he is more than just an actor. He is a symbol of an era when action movies were made without special effects or computer graphics. That's it for today, friends. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, and see you soon.